catch 'em all.
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Lucid, and in today's video we're going to be talking about mw4. Now mw4 is definitely the COD that we're expecting to come, even though it's been way past normal time for any teaser. You know, in most cases we'd already have a teaser or two, a trailer, the title confirmed, but whatever is going on over there, for some reason we don't have any of that. Now I do hope it's for the good and not for the bad, and I'm not going to go diving farther into that, but I do want to talk today on a couple of things that are kind of my mw4 wish list. So one of the things I would love to see return in mw4 is manual healing. Now I'm not saying so much the 150 health. The 150 health or the 100 health doesn't bother me either way, but I would love to see manual healing come back. This is actually an aspect in BO4 that I really do enjoy, and I think it just brings kind of a new dynamic to the game. And on top of that, if you think about it, go back and play one of the other CODs and you get down to being one shot, and watch how long it takes you to regenerate health. With manual healing, if you added manual healing in 100 health into a regular COD, I feel like it would make it such a fast-paced COD. I think not only would it make it fast-paced, but it'd make it very different. It would add that other key element to kind of change up the game. But mixing it in with 100 health, I think would be such an awesome dynamic to change. So that's my number one. I would really love to see come back in mw4. The next one is balanced guns. So I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, and BO4 is just so unbalanced and blah blah blah. It's not really where I'm getting at. The main thing, what I'm trying to mainly talk about here, is no super overpowered guns in general. Do I think this is gonna happen? No, I don't think this is gonna happen at all. I don't think there's any chance of it happening. But I would love to see guns that are extremely balanced, and thus making it more likely to see a multitude of guns in the game and being used, and I think that would be such a big factor that I think would be really awesome. One game I will say did a pretty good job on this is World War II. I think World War II did a really good job on this, and I think BO3 did a really good job on this. Yes, there was a few guns that were extremely overpowered in the game, but there was so many guns that were extremely viable to use. And I would love to see that come into play in mw4. That way, you know, you have, it's not just the same thing every match. You're getting, you know, everyone's using the exact same thing. I for some reason, I don't know why, personally, that just drives me nuts. No specialist, which I'm pretty certain that's not going to happen, which is extremely exciting. I'm definitely over the specialist. I think BO4 did a really bad job this time around with specialists. If you go back and play BO3, you don't, like, the specialists are there, and yeah, you'll die to specialist abilities, but they're nowhere near the way that they are in BO4. And there's a lot of different theories as to why it's that way, but there's 100% BO4 has this way of just specialists not working well. This one kind of goes to balanced guns, but you know, even if the guns aren't balanced, you know, and again, like I said, I would never expect it to be 100% balanced, where every gun you pick up is gonna have the same time to kill. That's not really where I was going with that. But if nothing else, I want good subs. I love using submachine guns and the playstyle that goes along with submachine guns, and I think it would be awesome just to have extremely solid submachine guns that keep up with anything else, but on the same note aren't mapping people across the map faster than an AR, but aren't extremely overpowered either. So you know, just really good subs. I think a great example of this would have been the PPSH in World War II. You could shoot long range with it, but on the same note, it did well in close range. It wasn't the absolute best. Tommy gun, WAF, they would beat it in close range. Other guns were better in longer range, but it served its purpose perfectly. I think that was a really, really good balanced submachine gun. Just kind of as a reference to some of the more recent games. Now, the last one, before I kind of dive into my next little minor topic here, the last thing I kind of wanted to point at is grindability. I feel like with BO4, I never feel any reason to just sit and grind it unless a new tier system just comes out. And honestly, even then, it's so hard to continue to grind the game. A lot of the reason being just the fact of you're getting nothing but nonsense the entire time you're grinding to get to that last tier just to get a gun, and the rest of the time you're just annoyed. It puts a resentment in the game, and I think that in itself is it's not a good thing to have in the game. And I think it's some of the reasons that the game's hurting pretty bad. And I think that if they put in the grindability that we've seen in other CODs, BO3 being a great example, people to this day still grind BO3. Please, though, I really hope the content stream's nothing like BO3, because that was horrendous. But y'all get what I'm saying. I just want it to be a good content, good grindability, a game that can play and really bring the hype of Call of Duty and what it's grown to be back to it. That's kind of my main thing. I want Call of Duty to succeed. I obviously do. I love the game. I love the franchise, and I want to see it succeed. And I'm really excited to have like a modern feeling game again. That's high quality, high content. I think it has so much potential to be such an amazing game, and I really hope that's what we get. Alright, so going into my last little thing here, this is going to kind of be one of those things where it's a very common subject right now, and I wanted to go ahead and take a moment to try to touch on it a little bit. The beta. So I see on Twitter and Reddit and even here and there on Facebook where people are saying they don't think COD should have a beta. So where I think this all of a sudden is starting to stem from is the fact that BO4 had a extremely successful beta, but they kind of did it all in the wrong way. And what do I mean by that? I mean they literally showed us everything. They showed their entire hand right off the bat. As soon as the cards were dealt, they just showed it to us. And so when we got the game, there was nothing to be excited about, really. It was the exact same game we were playing, the exact same, almost every single map we played in the beta was in the final game. All the weapons we've seen, pretty much all the equipment we've seen, they literally showed us the entire game for 2 betas, and I think that took a huge hit. Now, do I think that there's going to be a beta for MW4? Oh, 100%. 100% there will be a beta for BO4 or for MW4, and I'm gonna tell you why. Sales, 1000% sales. It is huge for Activision and for the studio, the devs, to do a beta because it skyrockets their pre-order sales. They lock it behind the pre-order, bam. And that's just part of business. It's smart business, and I can't blame them for that. But on top of that, what we also need to be thinking about is not so much should there be a beta or should there not be, but it's more of let's do the beta right. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's, you know, put in 5 classes. You can, you know, a couple subs, couple AR, maybe an LMG, and a secondary or 2. And that's all you get with like 3 maps. That's all you get, you know, 2 weekends, bada boom, bada bang. That it's set, done. I think that in itself will work out perfectly. And the reason I think that is the devs also, not only for the sales point, so let's go ahead and just ignore that I ever said sales point. Let's just look at the fact that by doing that, it helps the studio, it helps the game by doing the betas. And it helps the game because you're not having these horrible crashes constantly. When the game first comes out, if the game comes out and it's barely or literally not playable by any means, because every time you try to load into a game, the servers are crashing every map, or just trying to load into the game, to the online, no one's going to play it. And on top of that, not only is no one going to play it, they're going to get frustrated with it, they're going to return the game. It's going to run the game. So by doing the beta, they can fix a lot of those things, where my biggest concern is we're running out of time. And this is, of course, if they're going to do an October release or a November release. We're getting, you know, so close to the wire. Yeah, there's a lot of time between there and now, but we haven't seen the releases. We haven't even got a confirmed title. We haven't got a trailer. We're kind of getting these like really, really, really tiny little teasers here and there, but we haven't had anything released, nothing officially released. And if they're going to the beta, which like I said, I would be mind blown if they didn't do a beta. We're running on that really small amount of time, because I think that the beta should be a month and a half out. That way, any major bugs, any major server issues, any major just issues with the game in general, that would hurt it on launch, I think needs to be fixed. And they need to make sure there's enough time between the beta and the game, not only to let some hype build back up and the anticipation set in, but to get those bugs, those defects in the game fixed. And I think if they do that, I think it's going to be an extremely successful beta with an extremely successful launch. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up on this. Let me know in the comments section below what your MW4 wish list is, and, you know, what y'all think about the beta, because like I said, it definitely seems like a really big debate on the beta. So also, guys, make sure to add me on Twitter. Discord link is down below. It's another really good way to get a hold of me. But if you want to contact me at any time, just add me on Twitter. I'm super active over there. And yeah, but until next time, guys, I will catch y'all later. Deuces.